And joining us now, Jennifer Barbosa. And she's running for Congress in the People's Republic of California. She's down in the LA area, and she's running for Congress in what would seem like an impossible situation against Adam Pencil-neck Schiff, but she's going to take it right to him, and she's definitely got the onions to do it. Tough to run one of these races, and she's joining us now. Jennifer, great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so tell us about your district, Adam Schiff, and how much fun you're going to have in this campaign.
I'm already having fun. So the district is about, it includes Hollywood, Burbank, West Hollywood, very liberal district. It voted about 75% for Hillary. It's very blue. And no matter who runs in these districts around here, we have a cluster, Adam Schiff, Ted Lieu, Maxine Waters, they're all adjacent to each other. And no matter who runs, no matter how much money they raise, whether it's $20,000 or $1 million, no matter who runs on the Republican ticket, they always lose tremendously on Election Day. So we're trying something new this time. I'm not running on the Republican ticket. I'm running on the independent ticket. And I realize that for people who live in other cities or states, that might seem impossible because you think, how often can a third party or an independent candidate get in? But in California, we have a different situation. We have different laws. So whoever are the top two vote getters on Election Day, those are the ones who advance to the primary, even if they're both Democrats or they're third party or whatnot. We know that a Republican can't get more than 25% here because that's what's happened in every single election for the past 2-3 election cycles. Mm-hmm. So independent actually has a better chance than Republican. So that's what I'm doing.
So was there going to be a Republican in this race or just Adam Schiff and you?
Well, anyone can jump in and call themselves a Republican, and sometimes they do, but they won't get they won't get the support from the RNC because they don't support Republican candidates here. They have a lot of money, but still there are limitations, and they prefer to put their funding and their energy into, say, a purple district or a Senate race so they can keep the Senate. So, no, there won't be. I'm not worried about that.
All right, so you want to take it right to Adam Schiff. Now, of course, he's going to ignore you. You're an independent candidate. He's not. You're probably not going to raise a lot of money. So he's going to ignore you, blow you off, not want to debate you. How do you take your message out?
Well, there is a possibility of me raising a lot of money because there are a lot of people who would like to see him out of office. It would be easier for me to raise money if I ran on the Republican ticket, but I want to win. So, I'm not going to raise as much as he is, but I am raising some. I've already started campaigning and raising money. And so, that's the first step. And the most important step is going out there, going door to door. And I love doing that. And I'm already doing that. And so that's step one.
What is the reception you're getting?
Fabulous. So far, I'm mostly speaking with conservatives, but some independents and Democrats too. And people are very receptive, very receptive. So it's exciting.
Now, what about Adam Schiff himself? Like, what about Adam Schiff the most drives you nuts?
For me, it's the dishonesty. I actually voted for him about 5 or so years ago. But since then, I've seen he's just extraordinarily dishonest, and that's what I don't like. He sows division where he shouldn't. We should be able to trust him, but I've found that I can only expect him to be dishonest, and that's not proper for a leader or a
What are some
official.
of the major issues that you're going to try to rally backing on or make the difference between yourself and Adam Schiff?
Well, here in Los Angeles, I'm sure you've heard, we have a tremendous homelessness problem. And homelessness has gone up about 40% since he was first elected back in 2000, 2001. He's been in office 16 years. So the district it includes multiple cities. One of those cities is Los Angeles, and their homelessness is a great issue to campaign on because it's very clear he's done nothing to help alleviate the problem, and as he's been in office, it's gotten worse and worse. There are other cities, Burbank and Glendale, where I'll have to attack them on other issues. But in Los Angeles, the homelessness is definitely a big issue.
Well, why do you have so many homeless people in Los Angeles? I mean, I've heard that on any given night, there's now 30,000 homeless people in Los Angeles sleeping under bridges and drain pipes, in tents, just in the park, abandoned buildings. I mean, how does a city have 30,000 homeless people? What happened?
It's actually the number I heard recently was 59,000. And
59,000.
I was at they do an annual homeless count, and then they announce the numbers at a Board of Supervisors meeting. I was at that meeting, and the people there, in the crowd insisted that that's an undercount. It's just known. It's just accepted that traditionally that's an undercount because they, the way they do that is they just walk around the city one night and say, "Are you homeless?" Okay, that's another one. So why do we have so many homeless? There's so many reasons. We've heard about the opioid crisis, the addiction epidemic. Clearly, there are people here with drug problems. We see them doing drugs. We see the drug paraphernalia there around the homeless encampments. So that's one issue. People come, Los Angeles has always had more of a homeless problem than other cities because people come here for the weather. They also come here for the social services. Mm-hmm. So there are three big components right there.
John Fredericks Radio Network, Trucking the Truth Across America, where Trump Nation comes to talk in the morning. I'm with Jennifer Barbosa. She's running as an independent in California's 28th Congressional District against Adam Schiff. Uphill battle, but she's trying to make waves against Pencil Neck, as we call him. I find him to be one of the most annoying figures in the Democratic Party. I don't think he ever met a camera he didn't like. In fact, I've always heard at the Capitol, if there's a camera around, get out of his way because he will knock you over to find it. So he's accomplished very little there. He's, as you know, chairman of House Intel now. So let's get to some of the issues. You talk about 60,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. Shocking figure. So if you were in Congress, what would you do, Jennifer Barbosa, to alleviate that?
Well, we have raised through our an additional tax that was added to Angelino's last year, hundreds of millions of dollars to address the homeless problem. We also get federal grants. So, and as that money has been spent, homelessness has actually increased. So, in my opinion, clearly we need an audit of how this money has been spent. That's number one. We have to see how it's being spent. My guess is that it's being funneled to various organizations that say that they're there to fix the problem, but really they make a profit off of it. For example, they say we need to build more housing. They say that the homelessness has increased because there's a housing crisis. And then these developers come in and say, okay, we're going to build more quote-unquote affordable housing units, but then they charge $500,000 per unit to build them. And that's ridiculous. So we need an audit. And then we can address the problems. Obviously, like I mentioned, drug problems lead to homelessness. So we have to address the opioid crisis. Not just opioids, but many kinds of drugs. We know that they're coming through the border. Border security will obviously help alleviate some of the drug issues. Another way to alleviate the drug problems, and they did this with methamphetamine a while back, is you go to the source of where the drugs, not just where the drugs are coming from, but the chemicals that create the drugs, the chemicals they use to create the drugs. For example, they found out that, I don't remember the name of the chemical that they used one of the chemicals they used to create methamphetamine. People were buying it in bulk from a distributor in India. So the United States government cracked down on that. And they research where the chemicals are coming from, and then that sort of cuts off the supply of the drug. Other ways to alleviate homelessness? Mm-hmm. Clearly, jobs are a problem. So, when you address the illegal immigrant population coming through and taking jobs from Americans, then you can help provide more jobs for Americans.
Let me ask you, what about the Democrat that's running against Schiff in the primary? How does that work?
There were 2 or 3 Democrats running at this time, and there usually are a few that run against him, but they tend to be the kind who just put their name on the ballot from year to year and don't really campaign or raise money, so they don't get any attention, really. I've never understood why people just run just for the sake of getting their name out there, but that's those are the kind of Democrats who tend to run against him.
All right, so you honestly think, Jennifer, that running as an independent gives you a better chance than if you took the Republican line? Because right now what the Republicans are saying in the district is, they like to file a candidate against Adam Schiff, but they can't find anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but
are you asking me that they're saying that, or are you telling me they're saying that?
Well, both.
No. Well, the chair of the local Republican Party, he was recently quoted in an interview saying it could take a strong independent to defeat Adam Schiff. And the last campaign they had here, they had a nice man named Johnny Nalbandian who ran, and he didn't really get a lot of support, I don't think, from the local GOP. I have gotten some support from local Republican groups, not officially from the LA GOP yet, but they understand the quandary that that we have here in terms of the difficulty of getting a Republican elected. I mean, people here, this is a very unique district with the demographics and the sheer number of Democrat voters. They don't want to vote with someone with an R by their name. We have 400,000 registered voters. 70 are registered Republicans. So over 200,000 are registered Democrats.
Oh my God!
So
70? Did you say 70?
70, yes.
Out of 400,000, 70 are registered Republicans.
70, yes. And 100, how many is it? I think it's 120,000, 130,000 independents and over 200,000 Democrats. So you can have 100% voter turnout of Republicans on Election Day, which never happens. At most you get 70%, and still lose. The Republican will lose by a landslide. And there's such a taboo here in Hollywood against supporting a Republican that, chips are really stacked against you. You definitely have a better chance as an independent, especially if Schiff does things between now and Election Day to turn Democrats and independents against him.
Yeah, but I would think in that district they also hate Trump, right?
Right, which is why you can't run on the same party as him.
Right, so unbelievable. So basically, you're running as an independent against Adam Schiff. You can't run as a Republican in the 28th district in California in Hollywood. There's 70 registered Republicans out of 400,000.
70,000
out of 400,000. So even if you got 100% turnout, you still win in a landslide. That's an incredible number. And Trump has very little backing there, so you can't really run on a Republican ticket. So what the Republicans should do is not field a candidate, then encourage the Republicans to turn out and vote for the independent in the race, right? I mean, that's what they should do, and maybe it can be competitive, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm reaching out to Republicans here in the district and Republican groups. There are various, for example, the Republican Women's Federated, they're fantastic. And they have a few chapters here. And they're very supportive, very open, because they understand they're tired of losing. They're ready to try something new.
All right, Jennifer, look, I like what you're doing, and I wish you good luck. I think it's a good path. I mean, you're not going to win as a Republican, so you try to run as an independent. Mark the difference between you and Adam Schiff on some of the failures that he's had. He's not really done anything. He's a grandstander. And if you can get the Republicans to tacitly back your ticket, right, without coming out and saying, she's our girl, but just encouraging Republicans and independents to vote for you as opposed to Adam Schiff staying home, maybe you can actually make this a competitive race, right?
Right, and they're not just voting for me; they're also helping with phone banking and door-to-door and volunteering, and independents, and some Democrats are helping as well because not every Democrat loves Adam Schiff.
Well, now you also said that his comments about Trump and collusion were disgraceful. You want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I was asked by a reporter, this was right after Mueller report came out. Mm-hmm. I was just asked my opinion on Adam Schiff saying for 2 years that we have evidence of collusion. And I thought that was, I do think that's disgraceful because you're spreading disinformation. It does no good whatsoever. And it sows division between people, between neighbors, between coworkers, between family members. It's a terrible thing to do. It's an abuse of power, in my opinion.
Well, you also said, I go outside and there are potholes, there are homeless encampments, there's drug needles. And you said, I'm disgusted by how he's channeling all his time and energy into the Trump-Russia thing and not the district. So you're running a campaign that says, hey, vote for me and I'm going to fix your pothole. Vote for him, and he's on CNN International TV, right?
Correct. And he's also living in Maryland. He doesn't live here anymore. He didn't raise his children here. They graduated from schools out there on the East Coast. He's really an absentee representative.
Never goes to the district just when he needs to get money and votes, right?
Correct.
That's it.
And pictures, yeah.
And pictures. Yes. And now he's also chairman of the, I think, 2020 Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. So there you have it. Look, great to have you with us. Jennifer, I wish you all the best. Jennifer Barbosa, running as an independent against Adam Schiff in California's 28th district. That's Hollywood. Out of 400,000 registered voters, 70,000 are Republicans, 200,000 are Democrats. So can't win as a Republican there. Hey, Jennifer, thanks for all you do. Thanks for getting involved, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much, John. And if anyone wants any additional information, Barbosa2020.com.
Barbosa2020.com. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks.
Thanks for being with us.